I'm back here in the van putting together some last minute storage solutions out of scrap wood. And look what just came in the mail. 200 watt solar panels and a charge controller. We're gonna install it today. Stick around. So this video is sponsored by Bouge RV. They sent us the 200 watt, their Topcons, like their latest and greatest bifacial solar panel. They also sent us this Sunflow 30 amp solar charge controller. So I'll talk to you a little bit more about the charge controller and the solar panel a little bit later in the video. First, I'm gonna go ahead and get this charge controller set up and installed in the electrical panel in the back of the van. That's where that will live. And then I'm going to need to make, got some spare 10 gauge wire. This is a 30 amp controller. 10 gauge is rated over 30 amps, so that's perfect. I need to run this from here to the bus bar, so not very far. Now these, oh, that's heavy duty sheeting on that thing. We'll have fork connectors on both ends because that fits both the bus bar and my charge controller. Oh, don't tell me I broke my crimpers, guys. I broke my strippers. No, they're busted. Oh man, that's a bummer. I loved those. Man, my quality of life just went way downhill. All right, and then I'm gonna need to make a jumper wire to go into the charge controller from my solar breaker setup that I have here. Like that. Okay. Disconnect breaker. I believe this is off and that's on. I don't know what red means bad, green means good. I don't know. And if you recall from our previous electrical video, we pre-wired solar to the roof, and this is all the excess slack. So we'll have to pull this through when we place our panel, and that will get terminated on the other side of this disconnect breaker for the solar panels. But as of right now, everything should be wired up, and when I turn this battery switch on, our controller should come to life. It won't be getting any solar in, but we should get a controller. And there it is. 13.1 volts. Excellent. All right, so I got this thing paired up with the Bouge RV app. I can go in here now and I can pick my battery type, confirm, and I can go through and switch all of the specific charge settings. You can see that they're here. I can set my charging current, different voltages, and I actually have for my battery a manual that tells me what to set all these voltages on, so I'm going to go consult that and get this all dialed in. But basically we're all wired up on the charge controller. Now it's time to install the panel and get these wires run into the system here. Alright, to get the panel on the roof, we're going to be installing a roof rack, and actually I already have the rack. It's right here. So we pre-assembled it. It's a really cool system. I won't elaborate on it too much. But basically it's a ladder rack with these crossbars that have channels in them that you can put bolts up into. It's very versatile. You can just basically bolt anything you want to it. I did have a problem where it didn't come with all the hardware. I went to the hardware store, got some carriage bolts that are gonna work for now, and we're gonna set this thing up. I need Paige's help and I need some ladders, so I'm loading up the van, I'm loading up the panel. I'm gonna take this all home to Wilder Mountain, and we're gonna install it out in the sunshine, just like a solar panel would want, I think. Well, not having the right hardware is certainly slowing this process down, but we're getting it. Yep. We're locked in, folks. I love it. It's working. Hang on. You good? Great. Now let's do this end. That straightened it right out for me, man. No math involved.
Big washer.
Big washer, lock washer. Yep. Maybe not. Yeah, I guess censored for now.
I think it looks very aerodynamic.
Okay, I love that.
All 3 rigs in a row. That's fun.
Well, saved you guys. Saved your lives. I'm gonna pull really hard from the top, and you need to like see this wire. It goes like up there, right? And it goes up through the wall panel. And
Both
you just
colors?
need to, yeah, both colors. I'm gonna pull in both, and you just gotta feed it slack while I pull it out. There you go. Okay. Man, that was hard. I pre-wired that, and I thought that it'd be easier to pull through, but I knew there was a bunch of bends up there. Plugged in. Panel's up there.
Yeah, that's got the wires plugged into the panel, and now he's plugging them into something.
Where do we see
The solar charge controller.
Yeah.
We're all ready.
Battery back on?
Yeah.
I actually don't know which way is on with this breaker. It says green. I don't know if that means like safe to touch or on. You know what I mean? 0 amps coming in from the charge controller. 13.1 volts. All right, ready? Oh, solar! It just popped up, the little arrow going from the solar panel. It's gonna be still 0 amps.
Yeah, it's almost dark.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically nighttime.
It's overcast and nighttime.
But it does see the solar.
Okay.
All right. Well, we finally got it hooked up, but not with enough sunlight to actually charge anything, so we'll show you how it works.
First thing in the morning.
First thing in the morning. All right, it's the next morning. I'm up here at the shop. I got the van parked in. Good morning, 9:45 sun, and I'm happy to report that we are pulling 7 amps through the charger. Oh, my battery died. Luckily, we're powered, so I can recharge our GoPro batteries. As I was saying, we're pulling about 7 amps right now, a little over 100 watts. We started off the morning with the charge controller estimating us at about 68% battery. We're already up into over 75%, so panel's working great. Now, we're gonna continue putting this to the test. We're leaving tomorrow morning and headed west. We'll be able to give you a more thorough update after we're on the road. Let's go somewhere scenic, like this. Welcome to the California coast. We are in the redwoods. In fact, right on the other side of these bushes, on the other side of the camera, is some beautiful cliffs in the Pacific Ocean. We've been out on the road for about 2 weeks now, and I'm happy to report that the Bouge RV solar panel and charge controller have been performing absolutely flawlessly. We've gotten a full charge on every day but one on this trip, and on that day we were literally driving through the redwoods and we came out into just a really foggy, misty day, and even then we went to bed with like 70% charge on our batteries. So we've had no problem keeping the house battery charged, and that has been running our fridge 24 hours a day, our water pump, our lights. We've run the ventilation fan all night, every single night, to keep things cool in the van when it was warmer, and just to keep the air moving here where it's a lot chillier out here on the coast. It's like 58 degrees right now. I'm about to go put a sweater on. I can actually show you some of our stats right here in the Bouge RV app, which has been very handy because I can check it from the driver's seat. I don't have to get out and mess with the controller in the back. So we're at 100% charge right now, barely pulling 2 watts, but I can actually show you my history on here so you can see our performance over time. So of 14 running days, we've gotten 12 full charges, okay? And one of those running days that we didn't get a full charge was the day I installed it and hooked it up, and it didn't get sun until like 6 o'clock in the afternoon. And then, like I said, one other day on this trip, 12 full charges. Just haven't even worried about it. Have zero concern about keeping our batteries topped up. I think I would love to have 400 watts of panels. So an extra panel like this if we had another battery, which I intend to do in the future, and it would be totally fine. I also noticed we have a ground deploy, like a ground array panel that I borrowed from work. Actually, my job said, hey, go test this thing out. And that panel is a 400 watt panel. And one of the things I noticed about it is in the same sun conditions where I had the ground panel, which is angled and it was pointing up at the sun, and I had our Bouge RV panel, which was flat and actually had a less ideal angle. It was in the morning. For a 400 watt ground panel, we were getting something like 200 watts of power, and for the Bouge RV I would expect to get an equivalent about 100 watts on that panel. The Bouge RV panel was actually getting about 120, so it was at a worse angle to the sun and was more efficient than our ground panel. So I think that's the bifacial. Any light that comes through it is reflecting off the top of the van here, and just like I said, super efficient. It's getting tons of power for us. Thanks again to Bouge RV for sponsoring this video and sending us the charge controller and the panel. It has made this van build complete. We wouldn't be able to survive without it, and like I said, this trip so far has been perfect with it, zero complaints. It has just performed every single day for us. If you want to see it in action and see us out here using the van in the real world, making our power from the roof, be sure to get subscribed, because in real time we've actually been out on this trip for a couple weeks now, and the videos will be coming out soon. In fact, our next video will be hitting the road and headed west, and it was a long trip out here and not exactly an easy one at every step of the way. So if you want to see how it all unfolded, be sure and get subscribed. We'll see you in the next video. Henry, you got anything to say? Has your Nintendo Switch been charged every time you needed it to be charged?
No.
Well, only because you didn't plug it in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't find the cord.
That's not the same thing.
It's my phone.
Stuck in a van all day.